Welcome to the WIOA Title I training video series. This training series focuses on 7 specific topics that are key to successful implementation of WIOA programs. This training focuses specifically on the development and use of individual service strategies in youth programs. An ISS serves as a roadmap for youth experiences in WIOA youth programs, offering the standards for assessment, development of a service strategy, documentation of that service strategy, as well as the achievement of outcomes.
You can find New Jersey's ISS policy in the Workforce Professional Resources section of the New Jersey WIOA website. All policies that have been issued by NJDOL are available in the New Jersey Workforce Innovation Notices section, including specifically the ISS policy WDPY 19-7.
This policy highlights 5 core elements that should be part of an ISS and are included in the state's ISS template.
These include assessment of need, identification of career pathway, connection to WIOA performance indicators, planned and actual WIOA services, as well as referrals to partner services.
In addition, this policy lays out specific expectations about plan development and use. We'll spend the rest of this training video diving into more details around these core areas. The development of an ISS starts with the assessment of a young person's needs and interests. This assessment should include a review of academic skills, occupational skills, and supportive service needs. Academic assessments must include a review of youth's basic skills, usually through the CASAS test. If a youth has engaged in academic assessments recently, these can be used to assess academic level. Occupational skills should include occupational skill assessments, reviews of prior work experience, employability assessments, and assessments of career interests and aptitudes. In addition, assessment should include a review of supportive service needs and developmental needs, including identification of accommodations for disabilities. These assessments of need tie specifically to the introduction and parts 1, 2, and 4 of the state's ISS template. On page 1 of the ISS is a comprehensive assessment for assessing education and veteran status. In Part 1, on pages 2 to 3, the objective assessment includes an assessment of academic levels and occupational skill. In Part 2, on pages 3 to 4, service needs include an assessment of supportive service needs, financial needs, and disabilities assessment. In addition to recording individual assessment results, the ISS includes an objective assessment summary in Part 4 on page 4 of the template for tying together and integrating assessment results. The second key element of an ISS is the identification of a specific career pathway, a pathway that includes high-quality education, training, and other services connected to specific education and employment goals. A career pathway should align with in-demand occupations in the state and your local region. It should include preparation that poises a young person for success along a full range of education options. It should include targeted counseling support, as well as both education and work-based learning opportunities. A career pathway should include a set of services that are individualized and coordinated. It must offer opportunities for meeting educational outcomes, as well as specific connection to entry into an occupation or occupational cluster. An ISS should also include connection to specific WIOA performance indicators, including specific measurable skill gains, credential attainment, or education and/or employment placement. Career pathways and performance indicators tie specifically to Part 3 of the ISS. The fourth critical component of the ISS is the identification and documentation of specific program elements that are part of a young person's service strategy. These program elements should tie explicitly to the results of assessments and the career pathway and performance indicators that have been identified. All program elements should be available to each youth. A youth's ISS should include program elements that are appropriate for them based on identified needs and interests. While a youth service strategy does not need to include all 14 program elements, it should include multiple program elements.
In addition, follow-up services specifically should be offered and provided for at least 12 months following exit. This includes the provision of specific funded program elements allowable in follow-up, including labor market information, post-secondary prep, adult mentoring, financial literacy, and supportive services. Information about specific program elements that are planned and in which youth actually engage are included in Parts 6 and 7 of the ISS. Part 6 highlights each of the program elements and offers space for documenting service start and end dates, indicating successful completion of the program elements, as well as action steps and comments. Part 7 of the ISS also includes the opportunity to highlight an overarching program objective of a young person's service strategy.
Lastly, an ISS should also include referrals for partner services. A couple notes about referrals for partner services. In some cases, a young person may gain access to a program element through a referral rather than as a funded service. This is allowed and encouraged. A service strategy should leverage resources from other local programs who may be able to offer specific program elements without funding through WIOA. In these cases, the local Workforce Development Board should have specific MOUs in place with partner organizations to ensure the program element will be offered. Furthermore, the local board should ensure that program elements offered from different partners are still integrated with other services and ensure a connected and coordinated experience for a young person. Referrals to partner services are documented in Part 5 of the ISS. In addition to the components of the ISS, NJDOL's policy also highlights specific guidance for development and use of the ISS. An ISS must reflect the unique needs of each participant. They should be individualized based on the needs and interests of each young person. The ISS should be signed by the youth worker and participant. Additionally, an ISS should be reviewed periodically, at least every 6 months, to revisit plans and also ensure ongoing documentation of services. An ISS may also require updates because of changes or significant events in a youth's life. Critical to the development of an ISS is the active engagement of a young person in the development of their plan. Additionally, an ISS should be shared with all program providers. It should be the basis for planning and documentation across all of the partners supporting and serving a young person. This concludes our introduction to the ISS. The Part 2 video provides specific details about how the ISS can be entered into AOSOS. Additional resources, including NJDOL's policies and a series of training tutorials on AOSOS, may help to augment knowledge of concepts highlighted in this training. If you don't have access to these materials or have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us at wioapolicy@dol.nj.gov. And please subscribe to this YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button below for information about future videos. Thank you.